sorry, I have to do it in English, and I'll try to do my best to have some part of the presentation in Arabic and try to translate it in English, just to accommodate all people. I'm very happy and pleased to be here in this session and in Saudi Arabia in general. Just quick briefing, and we have some gifts to give around this session and workshop. First of all, who knows what Google Apps is all about? Google Apps. Just tell me what.
Google Apps is a suite of different applications that Google is offering to be used by enterprises on the cloud. For example, Docs.
Okay, so the first month.
Okay, no problem. Hold it there. I will.
I owe you a month, so just. So another question. You mentioned Docs. What other applications are available in Google Apps?
Scholars.
Well,
Scholars. States. News.
These are normal Google applications.
Google
they are not Google part of Google Plus is now part. So you owe you a month. Maps is not part of the enterprise applications.
Google Apps.
Google Sites, perfect. So another mark. One mark. And let's take someone from there.
Waiting for my month. Google Wall. Google Wall.
Okay. The last one, and it should be one application in the core of Google Apps for Business.
The most important.
Let's take it.
The most important.
Okay.
Finance.
Google Search Project. Google Project.
No.
Well, these are all parts of the application, but I need a core application in Google Apps. Oh, sorry, there was a month.
Here.
So we'll take a female. You like this?
Gmail. Google Net.
Who said Gmail? Okay. That's the basic and the first part of the core application of Google Apps. You deserve a month. Okay, so briefly, just because there was some misconceptions about Google Apps. Google Apps are not Android apps. They are professional applications for enterprises and businesses, including basically the first and most important part is Gmail for business, including Docs, Calendar, Sites. Okay. These spreadsheet is part of Docs. We ran Docs as a whole bundle, which includes documents, presentations, and spreadsheets. Sites, Calendar, as we said. These are the core and the base. Sorry. And groups, definitely groups, sites. These are the core of Google Apps. Then we have some other complementary applications like projects, finance. You can integrate it with Google Apps. Analytics, you can integrate it with Google Apps. Maps, you can still integrate it with Google Apps. However, the core are the ones that we just mentioned. The structure of this workshop, just for your info, is that we'll briefly go through a presentation of Google Apps, and then we'll do a workshop, some scenarios of how to use Google Apps in business. I'll try to have a break between the first hour and the second hour, just to refresh and relax, so that people wouldn't be bored.
You will talk about integration with the application, or how to work on applications.
Well, how to work on applications and how to use these applications in some scenarios that would create, for example, a workflow for your business. Okay. So that's basically briefly the structure of this session and how it will work. Okay, so sorry I had it only in Arabic, but welcome to this session and hope you'll enjoy it and benefit out of this session after we finish. The links of these are the most important links you'll find in all other presentations. So if you need it, just if If you want to help Google, work with Google, the presentations will be at G Saudi Arabia 20. And if you have any feedback, it's the same link. All presentations will be available at this link. If anybody wants to just copy the link or write it down. And then a brief introduction about myself. My name is Muhammad Nada. I'm handling the sales for small and medium enterprises for Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. Basically, I'm operating out of Dublin, Ireland, which is totally different weather and climate from Saudi Arabia, which I don't like personally, but I have to accommodate to it.
It's not that hot here.
No, it's not. No, I don't like the weather back in Dublin. I love the weather here in the region. I don't like it back in Dublin. It's almost just. So it's almost 5 degrees all over the year, and it's raining like 360 days of the year, and sun is not there anymore. So that's why I don't like Dublin. But anyway, I have to accommodate. My email is nnada@google.com. This is basically google.com/a is the main website where you can find all the information about Google Apps, the different packages, the different solutions, some case studies, and the hashtag that you'll find each and every information is G Saudi Arabia. And you can definitely add me to Google Plus Muhammad Nada. I'll be more than happy to have you. Okay, so going back briefly to Google Apps, and just not to spoil my presentation, which will be at 3. And this is, let's give them up for this question. What's the main and most important thing of having? Let's go back. Let's say give three most important things of having Google Apps or a cloud solution for your enterprise. 3.
Lower,
Yeah.
well, it's lower cost and more safe. It's safer.
Third.
Access from anywhere.
Access from anywhere. Okay.
Collaboration.
Okay. It was there.
High security.
Synchronizing your stuff with the output.
Sharing files.
Okay, so that's basically okay.
Marketplace, which is more for developers and available software available.
That's another perspective that we can explore in this workshop. It was not planned, but we can explore the Google Apps Marketplace.
Seamless design.
Okay. So basically, we covered some of them. Let's
I just
say,
remember one thing. I think the SaaS model also.
Okay, what's SaaS model? If you can give us a brief.
Every user has the same version, no incompatibilities.
Software as a service.
Okay, so it's software as a service. It's based on the cloud.
Yeah, you can pay as you use. SaaS.
Okay.
One account can use all things.
Sorry.
One account you can use all applications.
Okay. So basically, the beauty of the cloud, or the beauty of having Google Apps, Google applications on the cloud, is first, it's very flexible, gives very high flexibility. As some people said, all users can have access to all applications. You can download applications from the marketplace. It's not only the core applications that you are using. Okay, so you can download applications from the marketplace. Each and every user have the same version. If there is an update in Google Apps on the back end, it's seamless, so you don't feel the downtime for this update. And each and every user has this update right away without the need of downloading the software, updating it, whatever. It's there, it's on the cloud. You have huge storage, whereas. So let's go back a bit. What's the alternative of having Google Apps? Who can give me an alternative?
Alternative or?
Alternative.
You have your own resources, your own data center.
So that's the main alternative, is to have everything on premise, having the servers, having the desktops, having IT department who will do everything for you. Okay, that's one alternative. Another alternative is,
can Google resell our application?
Sorry?
Can Google resell our application?
For the marketplace, yes, marketplace is available where you can upload any application that works with Google Apps, and definitely you can. And we will cover it in. Let's cover it in the presentation, inshallah, to just see how a marketplace works. Okay, so basically, one alternative is having everything on premise. The other alternative is basically having someone, a company, a local company, to host your applications, where you don't trust them 100%. You're not sure of their infrastructure, and yeah, it might be a bit cheaper, but you don't have any control around it. Okay? So basically, Google Apps, the beauty of having a cloud solution, the first thing and most important thing that we stress on is that you have collaboration. What do we mean by collaboration? Basically, the ongoing trend in the globe, we used to have single users who were working, each and everyone working as an individual, without sharing, without any interaction between different users. Then we had the previous model where you have either a file sharing server, where you share everything in a file, in a server, sorry, and send attachments via email, and then wait for the other person to update this document and send it back to you. Then you have 2 or 3 different versions, and you're lost in the middle. The beauty of the cloud is that everything is centralized. You work on each and every document. 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 users or employees can work on the same document at the same time. Whenever they update it, it's real life, so the update is real life. You don't lose anything. So that we have collaboration. Collaboration, it's التفاعل. يعني هي أكتر sorry for non-Arabic speakers. تواصل أكتر هي تواصل وتفاعل في نفس الوقت. يعني تعاون. Integration and collaboration. So.
Also, how would you, if I want to relate it with the client application, include any client application that can be centralized?
Yes, and we can try it if someone has a client here, but I doubt it. But we can try it. You can synchronize or integrate it with like 90%, at least 90% of the clients available to know. It's 100% working well. Okay, so that's why we call it the collaborative web or collaborative cloud, basically in this case, because we transfer the cloud. We're using the cloud to have collaboration, to have interaction between various users, to reach the ultimate goal of any organization. What's the ultimate goal of any organization? Maximize profit. And recently,
concentrate on the business, not on the.
Concentrate on the business, and recently concentrate on innovation. Okay? So instead of wasting your time having to manage your on-premise solution and servers and applications, you focus only on your business, your core business. You try to maximize your profit by reducing your costs, and you increase innovation to get more profit. So for example, if you have your own application, you don't have to be a software house to have your own application. You might be just a customer, just a business user, and you save some time from managing your on-premise solution to develop an application, to use it in-house and then sell it on the marketplace. Okay. So the business challenges that we have right now are totally different like 50 years ago. 50 years ago, we need to do our business and that's it. There was no other, like any other goal for a business. Now we have challenges that face any organization that we need to solve for the organization to maximize its profits. So basically you have information overload. Whenever we had an on-premise solution, we had to take care of the storage, right? We had to take care of the maintenance. We had to take care of the quotas and security for each and every user. Okay, so that was a headache and a pain basically for any organization. Collaboration, as we just said before, like 40 or 30 years ago, each and every individual was working on an island, separated from the rest of the organization. Currently, collaboration is the core and center for all organizations. Let's have a raise of hands. For example, for the last week, who didn't interact with at least 2 people in the organization? At least 2 people. Less than 2 people?
More clear for
Okay, so last week, each and every one of you, let's say he interacted with some people within the organization. Who interacted with less than 2 people within the organization? Less than 2? Less than 5? Less than 5? Okay, we have one. Less than 10? More than 10, 5? More than 10? So at least in last week, at least we have, let's say, worst case scenario, 80% of the attendees interacted with at least 10 people in this week. So nobody can live on his own. Nobody can work with the old methods of sending a file, downloading this attachment, editing it, and uploading it back. Because you're interacting, you're sending emails, you're sending text messages, you're sending whatever within the organization, which definitely needs collaboration. Who has smartphones? Okay, so it's almost 70%. Who has a tablet? Who has a laptop? Okay. Who still works on a desktop? So,
daily at office.
Daily at office, you still use desktop, okay? So if you saw the raise of hands, okay, it's almost 70% are using smartphones or laptops, and less than 30% are using desktop. So what does this mean? Previously, you had to go to your desktop, log in using your username and password, have all your credentials, everything on this desktop. If you go back home, you can't access your email, you cannot access your applications. Okay, you can sit here.
Let us sit here.
Okay. So basically, previously, you had to go to your desktop, which is in your office, and access your applications from this desktop only. You couldn't access it from your smartphone. You couldn't access your email from a laptop, from a tablet, from whatever. It's just your desktop at home, which is definitely changing. Nowadays, you should access your email and applications everywhere without any constraints.
Does it just serve as sharing and saving the files, or does it track also who downloaded this or who did that?
It tracks definitely, and we go into more details of this. We'll try it in the workshop. So definitely you can track, you can see revision histories, and you can go back to this revision.
Is there like a limited time for saving these files?
Sorry?
Is there like a limited time for saving these files?
No, it's real life. It saves automatically real life. And
No, it's like if I have a file I want to share with the organization, does it save it for like 3 years maximum?
no, there is no limit. The limit is basically your storage. So let's say for email, currently the limit for the business version is 25 gigs, and the storage is expanding. The storage for the documents and files, it's expanding. It's there for infinity. It's as long as you have storage capacity, that's it. Okay, and we'll definitely try. Okay, I'll not go into more details in the presentation. We have the Google Apps 101 presentation at 3, inshallah. So I'll just go right away to the workshop and let's play around with the applications and testing. Excuse me.
To promote such applications, such business, it's still there is some resistance in this, especially in Arabian market. What do you recommend to promote such? Because most of the customers believe that they should own and see physically their data, and they're sort of suspicious of having cloud-based business applications.
Okay, so sorry, and you raised a very important point, and sorry I forgot that. First of all, let's have a profiling of the attendees. Who's an IT manager of a company? Okay. Who's an IT consultant or service provider, basically? Okay. Who's an end user or developer? Okay. So just for the who's a business user? Business user, not a technical user. Okay. So, sorry, I just had to make this profiling. Going back to your question, let's have an open discussion around that. Who thinks that having an on-premise solution is much better or more secure than having a cloud solution, and why?
We have already sold them the idea, but we want to convince other businesses to.
Yeah.
So just
Totally, I totally understand that. That's why I love to do it in a discussion and collaborative way rather than just giving you the.
To iterate on that, some government organizations have limitation or have some performance they have to comply with in according to the security. And some say that the servers must be secured in such a way and that can only be assured if the servers were on premise.
Okay, so security. I'm just taking notes or just putting the points.
Concerns availability. Internet goes now.
Availability.
Privacy. Listen.
Privacy.
Integrity.
Who said integrity? What else?
Protection of investment.
Protection of investment. What do you mean? Sorry, if you can.
Recently, many enterprises invested a huge amount of money in the old data center. Shifting to cloud is new investment for them.
That's very important point. Okay. What else?
Support.
Are you just keeping track of the points because I might forget it? Sorry for that. But just
Supporting.
Supporting. Okay.
Paradigm shift. People are still.
Okay, so let's go back to these points first and we'll take more points. So, security. Who believes that security is an issue moving to the cloud and why? Okay, so we have a couple of phrases.
Yes, security is the most important. I mean, the document security itself, the confidentiality of the document is very important before anyone can trust putting it into the cloud. So
let me be on the other side. I'm not Googler anymore. I'm not in Google. Let's say I'm just an IT consultant or even an end user.
Okay.
Still, you send your documents online using the email, right?
Yes, of course.
And it goes to the internet.
Yeah, but I don't do that unless I secure it first with.
Yeah, you secure it first. So you make sure that there is a security that you don't personally own. You're using encryption techniques or whatever.
No, I want a security that I personally own.
Let's say what's the percentage of enterprises that have their own encryption techniques and models that they developed on their own? 1%, 2%, 0%.
Actually, it's not.
So you're using another vendors or the software providers encryption tool to encrypt the document or email to send it to the internet and receive it back.
Exactly.
Right?
We use our tools. We use our tools.
You use your own encryption tool? So it's the only 1% in the world of.
No, I provide this service for people who wants to put things on the internet. So.
Okay, so you are a service provider,
exactly.
Basically you're not an end customer. I mean, from the end customer perspective,
yes.
Still is using a third party for encryption. Okay, so security is not a concern, especially if, for example, like Google Apps. Again, back I'm a consultant. I'm not Google employee anymore. As a consultant, if you trust the vendor, if the vendor has enough certification, if the vendor has enough history around security in particular and privacy, okay, then you trust him better than going, for example, developing your own tool. Unless you're the 1% of the enterprises who develop your own tool. Sorry, one question before.
Not a question, is just an add-on. I think when it comes to cloud hosting, Google has multiple measurements, like two-level authentication, where you cannot, even if someone has your password, he cannot access your account unless he has your own device. So
yes,
it's even
that's why I was going back a bit to ask a question, and then your point is
so it's even more secure than having your own documents on your own email that sends out attachment.
Who's using Gmail, personal Gmail? MashaAllah, it's a very good show of hands. Out of people who are using Gmail, why are you not concerned about your security? And did anybody have any problem with security in terms of Gmail? Any problems? Security, Gmail?
It's more
Whatever.
secure than the Facebook.
Okay, I can comment on that. However, so it's for the personal.
But Gmail was attacked by my right in front.
Sorry?
My uncle hacked my Gmail right in front.
Well, because he knew your password, or he managed to get your password.
No.
How did he do that?
She didn't register her mobile.
Huh?
She didn't register her mobile number.
First of all, sorry?
$1 million Google, okay, for the people who can hack Google.
Exactly.
They said 1 million, so let's go and check the 1 million. Maybe the hack is
Well, a very simple technical thing around that is he had a keylogger on your machine or whatever, and he just grabbed your password. However, if you're using a secure device or whatever device that you know 100%, it's very hard to.
I think when you change your IP, okay, you are using your Gmail in Saudi Arabia, so you change your proxy to USA, you will ask security mobile.
That's perfect. And another very important thing is that whenever you log to your Gmail, you can find easily
How many users logged in?
How many users and when was the last time and where
Which IP.
and which IP logged to your Gmail. So that's for the personal version. What about the enterprise version?
For me, I love Gmail because it's the authentication mobile. So I feel trusted, even if sometimes I lost, they come back because they have
Exactly, and that's back again. That's for the personal Gmail. For the enterprise for the enterprise email solution, you have two-way authentication. I mean, for example, for me to log on my business email, I have to use this
Password and
this
encryption
token or whatever, one-time
token.
password, and I can never log without it. Okay, it authenticates using my mobile. I can use my mobile to make sure that I'm logging from. It's me who's logging to my email. So
Google
this part of security is, let's say, 100% secure. Okay. Going back to the encryption part, Google has various certifications in terms of encryption. The other beauty of having a cloud solution, and definitely you're the expert there, so I
we have also biometric signature. So biometric signature.
Well, definitely Google can interact with you on that though. I mean, in general, for the encryption and security of messages, a message is at least available or divided between 6 servers. So a single email is divided on 6 different servers. So even on the worst case scenario, if someone has access to our main server, okay, our email server, to one server, he can never get your information or your emails because it's distributed around 6 servers.
I think the security concern is not mainly from Google's side, but it's from the users. Like, for example, if I own a company or staff, and they go outside and they can access the company-related material, I don't know how vigilant they are towards their security. So I'm risking my customer data in the hands of my employees outside my premises, while I can stop them from taking any copies inside the company.
Okay, going back to this question, as I told you, you send these documents. Okay, so you send some documents, let's say.
No, sorry. There's one more thing which is very important. It's not about the document. A single document that is sent is different than having a reservoir of content.
Okay, who controls this reservoir? I guess.
Security is right.
Security. So who controls basically this reservoir?
Google.
No? You control it. You decide which. I mean, you can see which user is having which documents as an administrator under certain stuff. We have Data Liberation Act, which Google is a member of. So you can basically download all your documents at any time. You can have a report of these documents. So you as an IT administrator or you as a security admin, you have control around that. You can control who out of these users cannot even use the documents, document sharing at all. So you control it. Going back to the other fact that
can you control the location that they can only access information from a certain location or not?
Well, there are some add-on security parts that you can use it to control, and definitely we can make use of some of the service provider in that. However, the basic thing is that you know which user uploaded which document at what time. So you have control, you have revision history around that, so you know which user edited this document at what time.
Is there multiple layers of applications that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can apply myself, or this is something like?
Yeah, we said that basically you have two levels of authentication. That's the basic, and you can have it using the OTP. You can have it using whatever device just to generate the code or whatever. And that's the basic that you can activate from day one on Google Apps. You can make use of other vendors or other marketplace applications to add other levels of security and authentication.
Okay, let's assume that we're convinced now of using it. Explaining this to customers, they require the wow factor of privacy. There's someone behind the cloud. Someone is managing, that's for sure. It's not managed like automatically. So what is the wow factor to convince a customer to use such application?
Okay. First of all, did you mean by someone is managing? Let's say in this case it's Google is managing it?
Okay, in this case, yes, it is.
Okay. Do you think that Google is actually doing it in a semi-manual way or semi-automated way, or it's 100% automated and 100% untouched?
It is automated, but there's a database. There's a database administrator as well, right?
That's
so
not
it's
true.
like managed.
Well, that's not true, because basically, and going back a step backward, and we mentioned in the presentation, Google emerged from the web. Everything emerged from a web perspective, 100% web cloud. So basically, the data centers are built to serve this vision of 100% web. The data centers are distributed. Personally, I'm a Google employee working for Google Apps. I don't even know where is the physical data center located. And as I said, each and every email is divided on 5 different servers. So even if there is an administrator, okay, who's a person, who's, let's say, a Google employee who's about to leave the company and wants to do a trick or whatever, he has access to a single server that has 1/6 of your information. So that's going back to the person. I mean, the person interacting from the backend. So that's about security. Are you?
I was wondering if you could actually assign a login time for it, as in I have the time from 9 to 4. This is my job or my work, and I can only access it from this time. Can I restrict it?
Well, as a core application, it's not available. However, as a marketplace application, definitely you can do it and sell it. That's, I mean, if you have this idea, you can definitely develop it and sell it. It's very easy. And going back to the marketplace, just quickly to have a snapshot about the marketplace, you have an API which is 100% open. You can develop whatever applications that interact. So let's say you have a problem and you want to solve it, you can easily interact with the API and develop this application. So that's for security. Any questions around security? I'll just give you a single or 2 examples of customers who move to Google Apps, and you tell me if they trust the security or not, to move such a huge number of end users to that. Who watches football? Barcelona? Who's a fan of Barcelona? Okay. Who's the sponsor of Barcelona? Aside from the Qatar Foundation? The bank? BBVA Bank? Did you ever hear of the BBVA Bank? Okay. BBVA Bank is one of the biggest banks in Europe and the biggest bank in Spain, Portugal, and Italy. And they have 140,000 users. and they moved to Google 2 months ago, and they're using Google Apps 100%, which is a bank having 140,000 users moving to Google Apps. So if a bank goes to Google Apps and you starting using Google Apps, I guess this proves that they trust the security. Another example is Sabik. Who knows about Sabik?
Everybody.
Okay. Sabik is one of the largest customers of Google Apps worldwide. They've been using it for let's go to the slide about Sabik. Okay. So Sabik, they moved in 2009. Okay. They are currently saving $3 million annual cost out of moving to Google Apps, and they have, or they had at that time, 13,000 employees distributed on 20 countries. Okay. So if these or such large enterprises move Google and trust the application, I guess this might be okay. So we discussed security. We had like the investment that they already invested in their current solution, and this goes back to the first point that we mentioned, is that we're focusing on innovation and maximizing profit, right? The aim of any company is to maximize profit. So it makes more sense that we invested whatever amount of money in our data center, just keep it, forget about moving to the cloud and whatever. What about if we move to the cloud, move to Google Apps, and make use of this data center for other applications, for other solutions that we can make use of? That's the first answer that you can give to your customers. The second answer that you can definitely discuss with your customers, it's much cheaper if they sell the data center, sell it totally, sell the ownership of this data center, and buy Google Apps, they'll be saving much money. Okay, so this is basically how we position it, is either use it for your other applications, for your whatever content management, CRM, ERP or whatever, or even if you sell it, you can still make more money and innovate more. You own the data. The customer owns the data. If at any single point of time you want to get all your data and move away from Google Apps, you can do it by click of a button.
Where is the data physically located?
As I said, the data is physically located at least, your data is at least in distributed over 6 different locations. Okay. Globally, there are lots of data centers. We are very transparent about the countries that have data centers. However, the physical location, we can't discuss about the physical location. However, you can easily go and browse Google data centers and you know where the data centers are. But as I said, you have data split on 6 data centers at least. That's at least.
So if we solve the issue of security and authentication and all the other things, we still have the availability. If the internet is down, then all my data is within Google servers and I cannot access it.
Okay, that's a very important point. Who has an answer for that? Well, do you have an answer for that?
Partial answer.
Backup.
Actually, of course, this is nowadays, I mean, any business without internet connectivity will be down. Most of, especially when it comes to the content.
Okay, so that's part of the answer. So if the internet is down, already your business is down. But there is another very important aspect of it that
I was going to say, if the internet, the same thing, if the internet is down, regardless if it was at Google or on premise, you can't practice anything.
What about if you have an offline version of
Gmail 2.0 offline?
Sorry.
Offline access. For
Gmail
docs.
offline version.
Offline access for docs also.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's about the offline version, you know, all the projects like I can keep working with my teammates until the internet is back, then everything can sync back.
Well, it's a separate issue that we can tackle, but let's say we are talking basically about email and docs for external use or my personal use. You can still have it using the Gmail offline and docs offline and calendar offline, which are available and we can actually demo this, so you can use these features offline. Okay. What you're discussing and what you're mainly concerned about is, let's say you want to communicate internally. There are some solutions that are cost-effective that can, whenever your main internet connection is down, you can use your internal network or internal infrastructure for internal communication. Okay? But this is, as someone just said, if the internet is down, your business is down. And any Egyptians here, by the way? Any Egyptians? Okay. So we had this experience when the internet was down a year ago. Business is down even internally. You can never do anything without the internet for 1 day. So it's internet is life. I mean, nowadays internet is life. You can't live without internet. Okay. So that's about availability. And sorry, one more thing about availability. From a Google perspective or a vendor perspective, we give a service level agreement of 99.9% uptime. So we guarantee that the service for everything is up and running 99.9% at least. Last year it was 99.998%. And that was globally. I mean, like, you might have a downtime of 30 seconds, another customer would have a downtime of 2 minutes or whatever. So that's a combined. So a single user didn't have a downtime for a whole year more than 20 minutes. More than 20 minutes downtime for a single customer per year. So that's from like the perspective of a vendor. Another thing is that you're covered by 24/7 support. Okay, 24/7 over the phone, email, online. That support the applications if you have any problem. Sorry, go ahead. Question.
That's okay. I have a question. If a business employee bought the service, what office would they be dealing with? Which office?
Okay. Let's go in specifics after the presentation or after the workshop. But I'll answer your question. We have a well-structured organization that we have an office in Dublin handling the whole EMEA region, which includes Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey, which I'm personally handling. We handle small and medium enterprises, which is up to 500 employees, that we can handle either directly from Dublin or through partners or service providers that are Google partners, or in the other case, if they are above 500 employees, there is an office in Dubai who handles it.
The second part of your question would be, let's say in Dublin or in Ireland, right?
No, yes.
The Ireland government wanted to subpoena or get a subpoena on my data or the company's data. Will Google be required to give us the data?
Well, basically, just to clarify a point, Google Ireland is basically a branch. So the Irish government. I know your question. What you mean? Actually, it's the US in this case, and we have this question hundreds and hundreds of times. Well, my political answer would be nobody can access your data. Okay, but my non-political answer is basically if the US government wants to get your data, which is located in Saudi Arabia, they can get it. By law, they can go to the Saudi government, ask for a permission, or Kuwait. It's the same. It's the same. So the local government, let's forget about the US. The local government can easily have
any country having a UN membership can get each other's data.
Sorry?
Any country having a UN membership can get each other's data.
Exactly.
When it comes to security of their network.
Even if it's locally present in your premise, they can come, the police can come and just tell you, well, we need a copy of your data.
That's very common.
Even from one country to another. Data ownership.
But we can discuss it offline definitely. I mean, in general, theoretically, even local data, they can easily come and confiscate.
We have already solved. I'm playing the devil's advocate.
Yeah, I know. I know. But that's an issue for them. But as I told you, my non-political answer is basically, if they want to get it and it's in your house, they can get it. Not even in the company, in your house, they can just, police can come and let's be frank, you can do nothing about it.
they need a big reason to access your account.
Definitely.
Or,
And just as a just answering, that's the 100% non-political answer to that. The true answer and the true thing is that it should be very, very important reason. They give you a notice before that, and it should be legally, like there is a trial going on, whatever, and it's a very high level, and it never happened, whether from Google or other vendors. It never happened in the previous at least 10 to 20 years. I'll go back to the workshop, to the actual hands-on. Any other concerns? Any questions before moving?
It seems the AC went even colder.
Yeah,
We're
even
freezing.
colder?
Yeah.
For me, it's hot.
La. Can we close this at least?
Okay, this. Sorry? Okay, so any questions before moving on?
See, how can you convince your management to handle your privacy for a company whose basic, the sole business, actually the primary business is such? How can you convince your management to handle your privacy? See, as my friend said, say you have a privacy policy right now. What about in the future if you move away from it? I mean, you want to change it. Whatever you
We as Google, you mean?
Yeah, we as Google.
Okay, if we as Google at any point of time change our privacy policy and you don't like it, you can get your data right away. You as a customer can get your data right away.
I was talking about the investment that has been put into this. We are actually investing our time and resources into it. So if we want to move away, then it will be another thing.
Well, yeah, the investment, definitely you're investing in a solution, and you're investing for certain reasons and certain terms of conditions. So as you said, if Google, let's say, changed its privacy policy and you don't like it, well, you'll have to take this risk. However, you have this risk even with your on-premise solution. If like the on-premise solution provider says that we are stopping the support of this version in 3 months, the investment is wasted. And this is unlikely to happen with a proven track record of a couple of years back, which have never happened. So at least I can guarantee 99.9% because nothing, I mean, it's Allah alam what would happen, but 99.9% I can guarantee you that we don't change a major change that would affect your decision. Okay, any questions?
Can you just give a little elaboration on the Big Bang approach here in this case study?
Big data.
Okay.
With data?
Well, this means basically that they moved everything one time and one shot. Okay. Some customers would do it on like stages, or what we call phased deployments, that they deploy the first office and they still have the on-premise solution up and running, and then the second office and they still have the solution up and running. And other customers like Savic, they basically moved all the users at one time, uploaded all the data to Google Apps. 100%.
Okay.
So they switched 100% right away without going into phases. Okay. Any questions?
External users share documents with people who are in the organization.
Well, you have full control around that. You can just give them access if you want to share externally, or you can just block this access for the whole domain.
Regarding Savic, is it from all of the companies, subsidiaries of Savic?
Well, they basically started, I'm not 100% aware if their subsidiaries are using it or not, but Savic as the main mother company, they're using it.
I'm not doubting your company. My brother is still using Exchange. He's in Savic.
This only says
Exchange or Outlook. Just
Outlook Exchange.
No, Outlook is different from Exchange.
No, this is only the US branch, which is
it's okay.
That's the mother company. And going back, someone asked a question about the clients. You can still use your client, whatever this client is, using Google Apps. So in this case, they are using Outlook, let's say, and they still can access it.
Or maybe as I mentioned.
Or maybe as I mentioned, it's a different that.
Okay.
One other factor that we just someone was asking a question about the clients, so we answered the client. There was another question that I didn't answer. Sorry. Who answered? You asked the question, right? You asked the question about Google Apps, and I didn't answer. Okay. Let's move on and.
Let's move on.
Okay. So, who has been ever using Google Apps or Google Docs previously? Okay. So, alhamdulillah, we have a good portion of that. So we'll try it together. We'll try everything from scratch together, having the whole.
Excuse me about that. Can we have the Wi-Fi?
Yes. So it's mobilely Google. The access point is mobilely Google, and the password is. Actually, I can. Okay, so here's the password. So the access point is mobile Google, and the password is g@google or gl123ksa. I remember the question. Someone was asking about the change in mentality and changing the mentality from using the on-premise to Google. There is what we call first change management, to change the mentality of people, the mentality of end users to move to a totally different solution, which takes some time. And the other solution is that you can still use your old or your current, basically your current clients until the people would move automatically to the new solution.
It's not good.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
Mobile Google, the access point is mobile Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a different network, I'm using Google as an actual O, not at. So exactly the same password. Google, GOOGLE123KSA, and it works.
Which other network?
The Google network.
The Google network. Okay, so you can use the Google network if you can't access it. But you had access to this one. It wasn't working. Really? Okay, so I'll check. But if you can use Google, the normal network, Google network, and the password is Google123, right? KSA.
Actually, Google Mobile works without the app.
Okay, so maybe they gave me the wrong password. So
this is Google not shared.
They were maybe planning to make it more encrypted.
Okay. So for whoever didn't use Google Apps, this presentation is done 100% using Google Presentation, which is part of Google Apps and Google Docs. The beauty of it is that it's online. I can have a copy offline or download it. And the most important thing is that we can collaborate on this presentation. First I'll show you the interface for Google Apps, and then we'll go back to the collaboration part and sharing part. So basically, here is the main website for Google Apps, which is google.com/a. Okay, and we'll take a scenario. First of all, when is the dawn of prayer? Just like to plan our 12:50. Okay, so most probably we'll cover some topics and have a very short break, and then continue for the workshop until it ends. Okay. So that's the main website, which is google.com/a, where you have all the resources and information about Google Apps. So let's say we want to start by using Google Apps. We'll go by begin a free trial. We'll not go through this process because I don't have a domain. But let's say I already own this domain. I already have a domain, whatever. Or I don't have a domain yet. So within the same process, I can purchase a domain right away. Okay. However, and then I can stop the trial. However, I use my domain, so I can sign in.
We already have a domain. We just we already have a domain.
Yeah, exactly. If I already have a domain, and I take you through the hard way or the hard pathway for it, which is it's your first time to use this domain. It's your first time to use Google Apps, and you have already your domain and you started the free trial, and now you have your Google Apps. So it's okay, and go to domain management. Okay, it will ask for a username and password. If I had that two-way authentication or an added layer of authentication, in this case I'll have, after entering the username and password, I'll have the one-time password to enter, but I don't have it. So let's say okay. So I just logged into my Google Apps administrative account. Okay, that's very nice. I didn't plan it, by the way, but alhamdulillah, it happened to be this way. I didn't log to my Google Apps account for some time now, for 2 or 3 weeks, and I found this pop-up message coming that we've made changes to our main options. Okay, so Google has done some updates in the previous 10 days. It was only 10 days since I logged in, 10 days or 2 weeks. They did some changes. They updated some of the services. They had a couple of updates ongoing. I didn't feel them, but basically what I got is just a notification that we did some updates. Do you want to have them or not? Okay, and I just confirmed. So going back to the other alternative, when I had an on-premise solution, if the vendor has any update, they send you an email. You have to download this patch, run this patch, make sure it works, and make sure that it's let's say a weekend or whatever, to avoid downtime and avoid the hassle and avoid the problems with end users. However, with Google Apps, since it's a cloud solution, it's on the cloud. Google updates and does the update, adding features, adding applications or whatever automatically, and you don't feel any downtime. Okay. So let's say here's the admin control panel. Okay. It's very simple, very straightforward. It has the services that I have. So I have, as we said, the basic and core applications are email, calendar, docs, sites, mobile, so that you can use it on your mobile, contacts, and a part that we missed in the introduction, which is chat. Who's using Gtalk? Okay.